Long-buried secrets could finally be exposed in Emmerdale as the truth surrounding baby Layla edges closer to being revealed. For many months, the truth about the child's real parentage has remained hidden. Layla is currently being raised by Sarah Sugden and her husband Jacob, who are convinced that she is their biological daughter after agreeing to a surrogacy arrangement. However, they remain unaware that a secret affair resulted in a pregnancy, making Layla the child of Ross Barton and Charity. Although Layla is their daughter, the truth has been carefully concealed. Mackenzie remains completely unaware of both the affair and Layla's true identity, but upcoming scenes suggest that everything could soon unravel. Recent spoilers reveal that Charity is finding it increasingly difficult to cope following a series of traumatic events. Earlier this month, she was sexually assaulted by Dr. Todd after enduring weeks of blackmail at his hands. Although she initially reported the attack to the police, she later withdrew her statement after being informed that there was insufficient evidence to proceed. Shortly afterwards, Todd fled the village, leaving Charity to deal with the aftermath alone. Unable to confide in those closest to her, Charity instead claimed that she was suffering from postnatal depression. However, Mack begins to suspect that something far more serious is going on when she experiences an emotional breakdown and suddenly disappears. As concern for her well-being grows, Kane attempts to persuade her to share what is troubling her. Despite his efforts, she refuses to open up, leaving Mack feeling helpless and uncertain about how to support his wife. Mack later discusses his worries with Chas, who is overwhelmed with guilt because she knows several of the secrets Charity has been keeping. Chas is aware of the truth about baby Layla, as well as the recent theft and the blackmail ordeal involving Todd. While she does not know about the assault, she is fully aware that Mack has no knowledge of the affair with Ross. When Mack tries once again to reach out, Charity becomes distressed and pushes him away. She then drives off alone and eventually ends up by a lake. Ignoring repeated calls from Mack, she leaves her family increasingly worried, and their attempts to locate her prove unsuccessful. Fearing for his wife's safety, Mack decides there is no choice but to contact the police. As he explains everything he knows to officers, he starts to wonder whether important details are still being hidden from him. Desperate for answers, he turns to Chas and asks if she knows something he does not. With concern for Charity growing by the minute, could Chas finally reveal the truth about baby Layla and the blackmail nightmare? Mackenzie Boyd will become increasingly alarmed in upcoming Emmerdale episodes when Charity Dingle suddenly disappears, prompting him to contact the police out of concern for her welfare. Viewers are aware that Charity was sexually assaulted earlier this month by Dr. Todd, who had also been blackmailing her over the truth surrounding baby Layla's parentage. The child is being raised by Sarah Sugden and Jacob, who remain unaware of the secret. Following the attack, Charity reported Todd to the police, leading to his arrest. However, due to insufficient physical evidence, the doctor was later released without facing any charges. Despite everything she has endured, Charity has kept the traumatic experience hidden from Mack. Instead, he believes that his wife has been struggling with postnatal depression. In scenes airing next week, Mack attempts to reach out and support Charity, but she distances herself from him, unable to reveal the real reason behind her emotional turmoil. Overwhelmed by her feelings, Charity eventually drives away, leaving her loved ones increasingly anxious about her well-being. A preview clip from next week's episodes shows Charity standing alone beside an isolated woodland lake. As her phone rings, she sees that Mack is calling, but chooses not to answer. Meanwhile, back in the village, Noah and Sarah return after failing to locate Charity despite searching for her. When Mack's repeated attempts to contact Charity go unanswered, he decides that enough is enough and resolves to call the police, believing he should have done so much earlier. An Emmerdale insider previously shed light on Charity's fragile state of mind and explained why she felt compelled to leave. Charity has reached breaking point and simply cannot continue carrying this burden alone. She is deeply traumatized, the source revealed. She ends up at the lake and becomes completely overwhelmed, standing there in shock and clearly on the verge of a major emotional collapse. The insider added, "Everything Charity has experienced has taken an enormous emotional toll, and she is now in desperate need of support and help." Things are looking increasingly bleak for Lewis Barton in Emmerdale. All he wanted was a romantic getaway, but instead he now finds himself fighting for his life after being kidnapped, while his relationship and family ties are thrown into chaos. Fans have long feared heartbreak for Lewis ever since news broke that Vinnie Dingle would be leaving the village. However, few could have predicted that the storyline would take such a dramatic and dangerous turn. Since arriving in the Dales alongside his mother Mandy several years ago, Vinnie has undergone a significant personal journey. Discovering his sexuality and embracing his identity has been a major part of his story, with Lewis playing a crucial role throughout. As someone who has often felt different because of both his autism and sexuality, Lewis provided Vinnie with a safe and supportive environment. While living together, Vinnie gradually came to terms with his feelings, eventually leading to the breakdown of his marriage to Gabby and his acceptance that he was attracted to men. Their bond began as an unlikely friendship, but slowly developed into something much deeper. One memorable turning point came when they worked together to rescue runaway sheep, a classic Emmerdale moment that brought them even closer. Sadly, recent cast changes mean Vinnie is among several characters set to leave the soap this year, raising concerns about what lies ahead for the couple. Many viewers suspect that Vinnie's departure could be connected to the arrival of Lewis's estranged father, Kev Townsend. The unpredictable newcomer first appeared as Robert Sugden's fellow inmate in prison, but he has since returned, hoping to rebuild his relationship with his son while launching his own cafe venture. Now, Lewis's world appears set to be turned upside down as he gets to know his eccentric father, with devastating consequences potentially looming. Last week, Vinnie surprised Lewis by arranging a last-minute holiday to Madeira. Although excited by the idea, Lewis struggled with the sudden change of plans and initially decided not to go, encouraging Vinnie to travel without him. After receiving some heartfelt advice from Ross, Lewis reconsidered and rushed to the airport in an attempt to join Vinnie. However, his romantic reunion was abruptly interrupted when he was violently forced into the back of a van by unknown captors. Upcoming scenes reveal that Ross receives a disturbing message warning that Lewis is in grave danger unless his father returns an item known only as Penny. Determined to uncover the truth, Ross begins investigating alongside Liam and eventually discovers that Kev is Lewis's biological father. Their inquiries soon bring them face to face with kidnapper Kylie. Kylie insists that Penny must be returned if Lewis is to be released safely, describing it as the most valuable thing imaginable. Liam later tracks Kev down, selling cakes from his van, but tensions quickly rise and an argument breaks out. Under pressure, Kev claims that Penny is a valuable diamond, which he previously pawned, prompting Ross to demand that he retrieve it immediately. However, once left alone, Kev is seen examining a diamond hidden around his neck, revealing that he never parted with it at all. The shocking discovery raises a terrifying question. Could Lewis's life depend on that precious stone? As panic spreads, Ross receives increasingly threatening messages from Kylie, including disturbing images of surgical scalpels. Kylie also contacts Kev directly, warning that he has until the end of the day to return Penny. Meanwhile, Lewis remains terrified while being held captive. When he asks Kylie whether she intends to kill him, her cryptic response only deepens his fear. With time rapidly running out, Ross and Kev face a desperate race to rescue Lewis. But with Vinnie's departure looming, viewers are left fearing that he could become an innocent victim, caught in the middle of the dangerous confrontation. Emmerdale is broadcast on ITV1 every weekday at 8 p.m, with episodes also available to stream on ITVX.